Hey everyone, my name's Walter and I'm back here today with more posts and stories from Reddit. Nice guys are kind of what they sound like. They're guys who want you to think they're extremely nice, so they talk about it a lot. I guess that proves it. You'll see if you don't already know, so let's just begin with nice guys from Reddit. As usual, these posts come to us from Reddit Nice Guys. In a woman world, the perfect time for the good and Mr. Nice Guys to have a chance with her is when she's already damaged beyond repair. The good guy is never an option when she's fresh, young, untouched, soft like today bread, breasts still standing tall like a Iroko tree, vagina still tight like the narrow way that leads to the kingdom of God, her nyash still soft like a pillows of comfort, her lips still succulent like butter, when she still has wombs. Wow, this guy's posts are creepier than Lucas Werner's somehow. Impressive. But she only remembers that the good guy exists when her vagina is as wide as the Bermuda Triangle, her breasts has fallen like the gigantic wall of Jericho, her nyash is strong as Mountain Kilimanjaro, lost her womb to series of abortions. The good and Mr. Nice Guys always comes last just to eat the leftover. Be wise, king. Don't settle for less. Judge her harshly by her past. Her past is her future with you. If you neglect her past, you will suffer the consequences in the future. Stay Putinized. Where exactly is this guy from? Stay Putinized? LMFAO, the fresh, young, untouched made me gag. Just so gross. We're not slabs of meat, you sick fuck. And may you always be rejected for your entire life. Hoflation is real and disrespectful to men. It's sad to see the state of women today. I work at Target, and the amount of overweight or obese women compared to men is just ridiculous. What's sad is that these women are often the ones married and have no problem getting into sex/relationships. How do the men in a relationship with them tolerate this? My theory is that they are forced to settle with the lesser desired women because of hoflation. Yeah, I feel like making up theories about women and posting them to Reddit is probably a great way to become an incel. Women that are a 5 out of 10 or above looks-wise are almost off limits. They want to hook up with the psychotic, attractive men when they're young. There's actually research that proves this right. Then settle with the good men when they're traumatized and a little overweight to obese. It's depressing that men go through so much sacrifice by building their bodies, money, etc. to become high value, and yet they only get the attention of low-value single mothers that wouldn't give them the time of day 10 years ago. Why is this not talked about more in American society? Women obviously have no morals or cultural decency because society doesn't hold them accountable. Yet a man is considered a creep for simply wanting to talk to a woman. I didn't hate them throughout middle school, high school, or college and still didn't get any attention from them. Well, who doesn't want to hook up with the psychotic attractive ones when they're young? I would feel like a hypocrite bitching about it. You aren't high value if no one wants you. That's a contradiction of terms. I honestly find you super attractive. You also got a nice pair of mommy milkers. Sorry if I offend you. I just speak my mind. It's that thing where they apologize for saying something in the same message instead of just not saying it. Classic. That's not speaking your mind, that's lack of self-control and entitlement. What the fuck is wrong with you? This isn't porn. I'm a person. I didn't deserve that. I'm a stranger. What gives you the audacity to say that? Obviously you know you shouldn't. Why don't you show this to your mom and see if she agrees that this is just you speaking your mind? Do you think that your mother would be embarrassed of you? Because I am for embarrassed her. I feel like most people don't want their mom reading their Tinder messages, honestly. Now, if someone responds this angrily to your first message, I have no idea why you'd keep talking to them, but this guy's going to, of course. First of all, I would like to apologize to you. I'm sorry for saying that. Second, my mother has nothing to do with my unfiltered mouth. Would she agree with me? Absolutely not. I could say the same thing about your father. What would he think, knowing that his daughter had to go on Tinder to find a significant other? I would also be embarrassed for him. I don't think I'm entitled, and I know you're a stranger. The fact that I could be respectful to women and not go any further than that, and the fact that I gotta disrespect women with sexual messages first to get a respond is what I don't like about women. I can be super respectful and not mention anything sexual and they're not interested, and as soon as I compliment their bodies, they're interested. And again, strangers as well. And I know not every girl is the same. I know what I said was insensitive, but at the same time it was a compliment. Now, I would understand if I had said that in a completely different way. I tried to be super respectful while saying that, because I know it's a risk or reward talking that way. I'm sorry again. I didn't mean to get you upset. He was being super respectful when he told her she's got a nice pair of mommy milkers. Maybe he should have thrown in a milk truck just arrived for good measure. I guess the only way this guy can get women to respond to him is by pissing them off. And how dare they get mad when it was supposed to be a compliment? I'm sick of these idiots thinking a woman cursing them out over their idiocy is an example of women being interested in those types of messages. Pissing people off who subsequently block you is not interest. Hey, she put my message on Reddit Nice Guys to be mocked. That must mean she's into me, right? And now I have a story to read to you from Reddit Nice Guy Stories. And it's about a nice guy, believe it or not. Nice guy finds me when I'm trying to put away groceries. Recently I was walking home from university in the evening. I had stopped to buy a couple of groceries on the way, including some cold things. This will be relevant later. Anyway, I was nearly home when this random guy stopped me and said he was visiting my city for a few days and wanted to know what there is to do around here. Honestly, there isn't much, and I told him that. The only thing I could recommend was a museum. I was wearing a shirt from a nearby research lab, so he rightfully assumed I liked science. He takes that opportunity to tell me all about his publications, which are in a similar field to what I'm studying. I get excited, mostly surprised to run into someone in public who is into the same field I am. It's not one of those popular science ones you see often. He stops and asks me if I'm under or over 18. A bit weird, but I assume it's because I look young, and a lot of guys don't want to look like they're talking to a kid in public at night. I tell him I'm over 18, just being honest, so he keeps talking to me. After telling me more about his research, I tell him I need to go home to put my groceries away. My cold items need to go in the fridge. He suddenly looks really disappointed and asks me to listen to him talk about more of his research. It was interesting stuff that I did want to hear more about, so I figured staying out a little longer wouldn't be a huge issue. Another spiel later, and I really do need to put my cold things in the fridge. He asked for my phone number so that he can keep talking about his research. Again, it's interesting, so I gave it to him. I thought that was all he'd use the number for. He then says I can go. Weird that he thought I couldn't. But he wants to meet up later that night to get drinks once I put things in the fridge. When I make it clear I don't want to go out again after coming home, he insists I should put the cold things in the fridge in his hotel room, so that I never actually have to go home and can thus stay out, and we can have dinner, get drinks, and watch a movie. Oh, he's looking for a technicality to get around her boundaries. Does this method work for anyone? I'd get annoyed very quickly at this fucker telling me I don't actually have to go home. I tell him I really do need to go home. I'm tired after studying all day and I need to put my groceries away. He insists on walking me the rest of the way home. I see no point in arguing. He's probably going to tag along regardless of what I tell him. Plus I live in a large apartment building with secured doors, even if he does follow the entire way. I still take a different route though. While we're walking, I tell him I'm not interested in dating him, and he says that's disappointing, but he'll accept it. But then he talks all about how the reason he's accepting of it is because he believes in consent, and he's a caring person. He says we should still get dinner, drinks, and a movie regardless, tomorrow night, and that he doesn't drink alcohol, so I don't need to worry about him making drunken advances. It will strictly be as friends. I say maybe, just wanted to get out of the situation. I'd figured out by that point that if I said no, he would just change the topic and ask again shortly after. Finally, I get to a random building and say that I'm home. Thanks for walking me, just the pleasantries I default to when I'm not sure what else to do. Luckily, he takes my word and leaves before I try to go inside. Once he's out of sight, I run in the opposite direction and continue taking a different route to my actual building. Yeah, you can tell this guy really is game because she physically ran away from him as soon as he was out of sight. Always a good sign. I don't know how you could not notice you're terrifying someone, but maybe he just didn't care. I think it's a good policy to just not bring up drunken advances at all. I'm home. I finally get to put things in the fridge and go to sleep, but he texts me to remind me we agreed to go out tomorrow night. Again, I only said maybe because he wouldn't listen if I said no. Now that I'm in a safe environment, I explicitly tell him I'm not interested in going out with him, even as a friend, and especially if he's going to make it date activities, dinner and a movie. Then I turn off my phone and go to bed. I didn't hear from him until the following evening, when he texted saying he'll meet me at X restaurant at Y time. I told him I wasn't doing that. I never agreed to go out with him. He starts trying to say that I did agree, and so I have to go out. And it's his last night in this city, so there's no other chance. I hope so. And I was so nice to him, and he was so nice to me. I had stayed home that day to avoid any chance of running into him, and I wasn't about to go out now, especially not to see him. So I again told him that I wasn't interested. Blocked him quickly after, just to avoid thinking about it. As a side note, I want to point out how sketchy it is that he accepted me not wanting to go out with him, because he's all for consent, and he's an understanding and nice person. Not only did he clearly not accept it, but he kept trying anyway. Something, actions mean more than words. It's amazing that some guys think respecting consent is not just the bare minimum, but enough to make them a truly nice person. Also, unfortunately, a trend I've seen in other posts here. Well, you can tell he's a good man because he didn't physically assault her. Apparently that's the only facet to consent. What a fucking joke you all are. All women looking for a good man, but there's one right in front of you. But I guess I'm not good enough for all you stuck-up bitches. I'm alarmed that this blurry photo wearing dirty clothes and fingering a fish is what he used to put his best foot forward. I'm gonna assume this is as good as it ever gets with this dude. I don't know if it's just me, but if you're gonna hold a fish like this, at least look like you went fishing. Like stand next to some water, or wear fishing gear / hold a fishing rod. This just looks weird, like he found a fish lying by the side of the road. Wow, maybe I should make a dating profile with a photo of myself dressed in dirty, frumpy clothes holding a wad of raw bread dough. And say, don't match with me unless you always put the toilet seat down, you dirty motherfuckers. Yeah, that would definitely send a guy like this into a rage if he saw it. Anyone else just feels like they're dodging a bullet, probably. What should my first impression be if I'm on a dating site? You don't want to date me. Also, you're a bitch. Perfect. One more series of posts here from some guy who's really mad about a girl named Amber. Now I just want to be left alone by everyone. I'm sick of caring just to be shit on and thrown away. I'm done. I guess the phrase nice guys finish last is true. Fuck it, I'm done, because I don't know how to be anyone but who I am. I don't really care anymore, fuck it. Actually, I'm sure I'm done bothering looking for love. Some people just aren't meant to have love, I guess. I guess I'm one of those people. I'll never understand it. I treat a woman great and just keep getting shit on for it. I see men who treat women terrible, and women flock to them. So fuck it. I'm done. Can't take heartbreak again. Not sure if I'll ever recover from Amber. I'm not sure I was expecting a guy holding a rifle in front of a Confederate flag to be so obsessed with love. He sounds like a high schooler. I guess it's my own fault that I get hurt like I do. When you are so open and kind, it makes it easy for someone with bad intentions to take advantage. But I'm not going to allow myself to become less because others refuse to be more. Shouldn't have fucked with this Scorpio's feelings like that, Amber. You put me in the mood to sting. I tried to be the best man I could be. That's when I found out women don't want me at my best. So I'm lonely and empty. I don't know how to be less. Fuck you, Amber. I worked so hard to be a good man, and now I don't know why I bothered. It's hurt more than helped me in my life. I sit here alone again, wondering why. And what seems to be his magnum opus of nice guy Facebook rants. I've realized that being a good man doesn't mean anything in this world. It does mean you get used more. It does mean you get lied to more. It does mean you get cheated on more. It does mean you get disrespected more. It does mean you get treated like shit more. It does mean you get your heart broken more. It does mean you really mean nothing. It does mean you are a sucker for wasting all that time to become a good man. It does mean you become bitter and lonely because women don't want a caring, kind-hearted man. It does mean you die pathetic and empty. You know, it sucks if someone cheated on him, but some people really need to put the social media down. He's making an absolute fool of himself. I didn't even show you close to all of it either. There was like 10 pages. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say, make sure you let me hear it in the comments. I'll be here reading those when the video's new. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I don't think I'm in the negatives anymore, so that's a start. But now it's time to shout out my awesome patrons, who help me by supporting me more directly over on Patreon, so I can hopefully continue making things. It really helps out. Jimmo, Ennui Blue, Bartholomew Q. Wiener, Levon, Maxo11X, Chris Sturman, Chef Casa, Jade Demby, Alberto 2001, Big Mike Shirley, Cacti Lady Wither, Cho, Daniel Della Pena, Don Smith, Dev Notes, Ouroboros, Sammy, Sezandora, Skepticals, Hornology, William Ash, Zebra Bird, Zephyrin, Bumbus McDunga, John Yorkie, Psychic Kumquat, Alex Anakin, Francois Tremblay, Knit1 Code 2, Lil Spoon, Molly Mayhem, S. Johnson, and Stepdweller. Thanks once again. I really appreciate it. I'll be back soon with more about not only Reddit, but some people I want to talk about. And if you didn't watch the Chibi video, I suggest watching that one. Great subject. Have a great day, everyone, and be careful if you're going to give compliments on mommy milkers.